Just a brief running order. We'll kick off the live section, then we'll go into a 10:30 p.m. tonight. If you're all ready at the back, Gary, you ready to go?
Yes, thanks.
Kicking off with Gary from Sky.
Hello, Mikel.
Hi, Gary. Yeah, Wika is doing better, but he will be out for a few weeks, unfortunately.
What is it? Is it his hamstring?
Yeah.
No surgery required?
No surgery. It's not as bad as the previous one. Obviously, very unfortunate to pick it up. It's in the other side. It's an action that requires full power from him. Then he clashes with the opponent. He needs to change pace again, and he felt something. So he will be out for a couple of weeks. So
do you hope, and I know you don't know because you're not a doctor, but do you hope that when you resume club football, he might be available?
I don't know. Let's see how he evolves in the next few days, few weeks. Repeat the scan and see where he's at.
And with Martin, he's obviously been selected for his national squad. What's the situation with him?
We don't know yet. He hasn't trained yet. And if he does, it will be tomorrow. And let's see. He's doing everything he can. We're doing everything that we can to make him available, but we'll have to wait and see tomorrow.
So that's definitely not serious.
No, well, there is an injury there, but hopefully, if everything goes well, he can cope with it, but we don't know yet.
So with Kai Havertz, we know he's had surgery. Is that weeks rather than months before he's recovered?
I think it will be weeks, but I don't know how many months. Very unfortunate, very sad for him. I think he did tremendously well to recover from the previous one. He's never had an injury before. And suddenly this happens. But this is our profession, part of football. We need to live with that. Obviously, we lose another big player for many, many weeks. But it was the right thing to do, and the doctor's advice. And I think he was very, very convinced at the end that it was the quickest and the best way to resolve that issue.
You did mention the word months there, so it could be months.
Yeah, every time there is a surgery, you expect something like this. So I leave that for the medical staff or himself to explain in detail what it was. But hopefully the most important thing is when he gets back, he's in good condition, and medium and long term, we protect as well the player.
How disappointing is that? Three big names, three big important names.
It just started the season and we lost three of our main players. But that's the reality, and very unfortunate situation, three very different situations, but that's why we keep insisting, like everybody else, you need a big squad to be able to cope and sustain the level.
And if that's not enough, Ben and Christian, I guess, are still doubts.
Yeah. So that's another two that we don't know yet. Again, tomorrow we have another day. Let's see how they evolve, and there is a chance to keep them involved in the game.
On the brighter side, Arteta has had a great week's training. Fitted in really well. Tell us about his first week.
Yeah, really impressed with him. I heard a lot of things about him. I spoke to a lot of people about him. Really bright, very special energy, a special aura around him, and yeah, really willing. He's already gathering a lot of information, the things that we want to see on that pitch, but especially make sure that he has the freedom and the capacity to express his quality, which is the reason why we brought him here.
Even more so than you'd heard in terms of his character, his personality, a great guy.
Yes, very impressed with that, yeah.
So straight in then, given the situation with Martin potentially as a number 10 at Anfield.
We have options in that position, and that's a good thing that we have this year. So let's see, as I said, another day, and I'm not going to give you any clues, obviously.
The fact that he adds to your ability to be unpredictable, that's one of the reasons you wanted him here, I guess.
Sure, and we have a lot of players now. They can play in different positions and they can fulfill gaps when we have them. And looking at the start of the season that we already had with injuries, that's going to be very necessary. So very happy to have the ability to do that.
Hincapie, his name's been linked with you before the window closes. Bayer Leverkusen, again, the fact that he's versatile is the kind of player you like.
You know the answer to that. I cannot talk about players that are not part of our squad.
Well, I'll just ask you a supercomputer question before I finish.
Okay, sure.
The supercomputer tells me that it's the first time in 8 years that the top two teams the season before have faced each other so early in the season. It's the earliest for 8 years. Is that a shame? Should it have been later in the season, or would you prefer it later in the season?
Is what it is. We have to play them. They are the champions. They are a champion for a reason because they deserve to be champion. They were the better team last year, the most consistent one, the one that find ways to win in many different ways. And we want to be that team this year. And we need to go to Anfield with that spirit and that conviction.
Thank you. Anita, Premier League?
Hi, Mikel.
Hello.
So obviously you've seen Azza in training for a week.
Yeah.
All of us are very aware of his qualities and what he can bring to a team. But from the little we have seen, what do you feel he'll add to this squad?
First of all, his energy. I think when you are next to him, you are comfortable. He's got a big smile. He picks teams. He asks you the right questions. And then just him flow with that ball and the ability he has to pick passes, to drive past people, effortless, and just to understand the timing of things. Very impressive.
I know it's early in the season and you talk about the standards that Arsenal has needing to win every game. How much does tomorrow feel like a season-defining game to put a marker down, given how close Arsenal's been in the last few seasons?
A very important one, obviously, and you want to continue and building the momentum that we are in right now, and going to those grounds, those stadiums against this kind of opposition is what we want, and come from those big games winning in a really convincing way. That's the objective.
Of course, you got the draw against Liverpool last season, both home and away. I'm sure you're aware of the stat that the last time Arsenal won at Anfield was when you were a part of the team. I think it's 2012. What do you feel needs to change to try and get that win this time around?
Be better than we've been in these games, more efficient, and do what we've done with many other stats that we had even for longer before. Just go there and be convinced that we can go to Anfield and win.
And you feel that?
Yes, I do, yeah. Thank you.
Harry to Maruzi.
Mikel, Arne Slot's been talking about the subtle differences to the way that your team plays now with a kind of out-and-out number 9 out top. They've made a lot of transfers this summer and they've changed things up top. Is there any differences you've noticed to the way Liverpool play and the way you're going to approach the game?
Yes, because I think the individual characteristics at the end is what it changes, molds or evolves a team. And it's clear that a certain player receiving the ball in certain areas with different qualities, the outcome is going to be different. And they made a lot of signings, really good signings. They keep evolving the squad like we've done as well. So big match ahead.
Okay, Tom from London.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
Describe the United game as a bit of a basketball match. And at Anfield, there's like a chance for there to be opportunities that you're in control and they're in control. There's going to be a lot of counter-attacks. And you've signed some players like Victor and Ebere who suit moments in transition. Did you specifically target players like that would be good for these moments where you're going to hit teams?
We have to add values that are players that add value to things that can define football matches, and those two, they have the ability at the end to make the final action in many ways, to finish with the ball in the back of the net, which is the outcome that we want in every action that we have in our attacking phase. And those two, they're going to add this individual action, magic moments, and that's what we need to win games.
27 injuries last season. I think 7 players have already been missing this season, which must be a big pain. Does it ever make you look internally? Is there anything more Arsenal can do for those situations, try and mitigate that, or do you kind of accept that it's part of the volume of matches clubs play these days?
No, first of all, we have to analyze what we do, first of all. That's for sure. I think in the previous season, we had the best record in the Premier League. The following season, we have one of the worst as well, because the extent, not the amount, but the extent of the injuries of certain players, especially Tomiyasu, Gabi Jesus, the long-term injuries we have with the hamstring injuries. So, yeah, we have looked at everything. We are continually monitoring and evolving the needs of the players and the schedule. But unfortunately, we pick very diverse injuries again, that probably some of them were very unexpected.
Simon, Evening Standard.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
It's probably something we didn't ask you in recent seasons, but with the depth you've got now and the options you've got now, do you worry at all about keeping everyone happy?
Worry?
Yeah.
No, I think the word is that I care that everybody is as happy as it possibly can be. That's a big part of my job, our job at the end, to make sure that every player feels that he's fulfilling his potential and is doing what he loves the most, which is to play football. And so far with the squad that we have and the 5, 6, 7 injuries that we already have, we haven't had many problems to make the squad. But if with everybody available, that will be a different scenario. But we're going to have to live with that, and that's why that competition is going to raise the level for everybody.
And just one on Eze coming in. Obviously on that left flank now, you've got him, Trossard, Madueke, Martinelli. There was a bit of suggestion earlier in the summer, and it's kind of come back again, that maybe Martinelli could be someone that leaves because of the competition there. Is that something you can see happening before Monday?
No, and I think Gavi's been a super important player for us, and is going to remain to be very, very, very important. And the fact that we have options with different qualities, that's going to fulfill what we want, because every opponent is going to require different things. And then the state, the moment, the way that those players are impacting the game, and that competition is needed. We have in many other areas in the pitch, and is needed especially in the front line to start the game and to finish the game. So I'm very happy with what we have.
Okay, last two in the As Live section. Firstly, Phil at the back there for PA.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
Spoke about Liverpool earlier and saying they deserved to be champions last year.
Yeah.
You could see they've obviously added to their squad this year. Do you think they should be considered the favourites to win the league this year?
Well, I think the favourite is always the one that won the previous year, and that's it. And somebody has to come and take that crown away from them, and that's what I suppose the rest we are going to try to do. We already started with the first 2 games in the Premier League, and that's the aim, be better than them.
And just one look, I obviously had a hamstring injury last year, which ruled him out for a long time. He's already picked up another one this year, albeit in the other leg. Is that a concern to you at all?
Yes, it is obviously a big one, especially when we talk about a sprinter, a player that gets into that zone very often in a football match, that needs that burst, that change of rhythm, of pace, to be, as threatening as possible. But we will learn again why it happened, make him stronger. And unfortunately, injuries are part of your career. He hasn't had that many, to be fair, with the amount of games that he's played at his age. But it's something that we want to eradicate for sure. Hi.
I think a couple of weeks ago you mentioned where Jorginho leading the leadership group had to kind of be reshuffled a bit. I was wondering, would you be willing to say who's in the leadership group now? Or
there are a few. I think at some point it will come out, but there are a few players, a few names. Very happy with the outcome, the way it was done as well, and I think it's a very good reflection of the group.
Okay, and on Ibarra, you mentioned the way he kind of flows with the ball. I was just wondering, is that kind of like a throwback to, players you played with here? I'm thinking of players like, they're not identical, but playmakers who played out wide, like Cazorla, Rosicky, those types of players. Did it make you kind of think of those guys?
Yeah, they have a different feel of the ball, and everything glides and moves so smoothly. They are beautiful to watch, the way they carry the ball, the way they take touches, the way they turn. And Epps for sure has got this talent.
Okay, guys, that finishes the As Live section. We're now going to 10:30 tonight.